Hi, Caleb with Brownells here, and in today's quick tip we're going to be installing the magazine catch assembly in the AR-15 lower receiver. Alright, so first things first, whenever we're installing this magazine catch assembly, we're going to be doing it in a way where we don't need any specialized tools. If you're already building AR-15s or building guns in general, the stuff we're going to be using here is probably stuff you should already have on hand. So no specialized tools doing this method. Now, all we're going to need is our magazine catch assembly, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So, what we're going to do here, I'm not even using the vise, I'm just going to hold it the whole time. We're going to take this threaded post and put it into that hole right there. And the rectangle piece goes in the rectangle hole, just like the square block, square hole thing that like you did as an infant and like people train like monkeys to do and stuff. So you should be able to do it just fine. Alright, so once that's done, you flip it over to the other side. You can see the post protruding. We're going to take our spring, and either direction of the spring doesn't matter. We'll just slide that over like so. And then we have the button. So if you look at the button here, one side is serrated, the other side is flat. Serrated side, or textured side, depending on which one you have. This one has serrations. They have some that have dimples, whatever. That's going to face outward. Okay, so all we're going to do here is take it and push it over the post and over the spring into the hole, and I'm just going to keep tension on it with my thumb, just like that. And if we flip to the other side, we can see it is now pushing out this piece here. And all we're going to do with this is turn it. Let me try and get it so the camera can see. We're just going to turn it clockwise, alright? And if for whatever reason yours isn't threading in, what I like to do from there is just go counterclockwise, and you can kind of feel the threads set in. You'll feel like that click almost. And then from there your threads are set, and then you can go clockwise, because sometimes it doesn't always line up perfectly. Alright, so we're going to screw it in as far as we can without hitting the receiver, right? Because as we thread it in, it gets lower and lower. And then I'm going to set it in its slot. And if we come to the other side, we can see that it is now capturing that button because it's threading into it. Okay, so from here, what we need to do is push this button in far enough, which is far below flush, to get this to turn even more. And what we're going to do is thread it in until the post is flush, or just below flush, the top of the button. Alright, now you can use different punches for this, whatever. If you use a steel punch, you're probably going to scratch it, even though you're trying not to. Like for example, this one, somebody used a steel punch on and it took a little bit of the anodizing off. That's not what we want. We want to do clean work here. So we're just going to use a piece of polymer. Like for example, this is a Torx driver that's polymer, and it just so happens to fit just fine there. So you can use literally anything, nylon punches, whatever. As long as it's larger than the internal hole, right? And smaller than the outside diameter of the button. So this one right here fits just those specs. Smaller than the button, but larger than the hole. Reason being is because we need to push it in so that it is below flush, just like that. Alright? So I'm going to flip this over here. I'm going to hold it in position so you can see once I push it in. Just like that. Or actually, I'll just do one of these here so that you can see it, hopefully. Alright, now, all we're going to do is take the actual rod here, turn that catch assembly, and just keep going until you get close to the receiver again, and then back off there. I'm trying to do this with so that you guys can see it. It's a little tricky. I need 2 more hands almost. Alright, and as you can see, that is pretty much flush with the button, and so that's perfect. There's people out there that are like, oh, you need to turn it this many times if the moon is in whatever quadrant, and it's just like, shut up, nerd. All you got to do is get it flush, or just below flush. That's fine. You don't want it sticking out because that just feels weird whenever you're actually activating it. This is the correct way. That's what it should look like. Now, If you're doing this on a 308 AR, you're probably not going to have enough length to get flush with the button, so those are going to sit below flush, and that's perfectly fine. But for AR-15, that's good right there. And that's all there is to it. Quick little function check is to just push it, make sure it springs back. You can go ahead and insert a magazine and drop it if you want to. That's a good function check as well. Make sure your catch is working correctly. And that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.